So, you've done your research, you've set your objectives, you've focused your selling. Now what you've got to do is put it to good use. You know who you're talking to because you've done your research, you know what target markets you're looking at. You know you're talking to potential new customers or you're talking to existing customers. You can use their language. Put yourself in your customer's shoes and match your product and service to their needs and solve a problem. I thought here actually probably the easiest way for me to do it was to give you a very quick example. We've got a software product that we're helping to market, which is for the educational sector. It's a management information system for schools. And we were at Earl's Court last week in London doing a really big show called BEP 2012. Well, I wasn't, but part members of the team were. Now what we'd done and defined through our research is we knew that we've got lots of different target audiences. We'd first of all got the bursars and the headmistresses and the deputy headmistresses or masters of the schools. We've got the teachers and we've got IT techies that are going to be there. Each of them have got different benefits that they want out of this product. The bursars and the teachers want it to be cheaper than their existing product or service and they want to know that they've got value for money. The teachers want help teaching, they want to be able to use the resources and make their job easier, and the IT departments want to talk techie. So what did we do? We sent down a teacher, we sent down an accountant, and we sent down a techie from the IT department. So it didn't matter actually who was on that stand. Whoever came to the stand, we talked to them, we listened to their needs, and then gave them to the person that was most relevant to talk to them. A teacher will talk teacher's language to the teacher. A techie, well, I never understand techies anyway, so a techie is a techie, and they talk techie work. Accountants, absolutely, on the key with the bursar, they're talking profits, they're talking losses, they're talking return on investment. It's the same language. It's not rocket science. So, once you've differentiated your business and your product, think about your features and your benefits. Your features are what your product does, your benefits are what does it mean to me. So, for example, if I'm selling staff training, what does that mean to me? It could be that better staff training means my staff are more productive, so I've got greater performance. They've got reduced time to do a job because they're better at it, which means reduced costs, which means more profit for me. And then they're more knowledgeable when talking to the clients. One of the things actually quite often people forget is your sales team is very often the front of your business. They're the first impression of your business. They're part of your brand. So if your sales team or the people going out meeting your clients really know their stuff, are really keyed up as to what you're selling, they know the features, they know the benefits, and they're trained up, actually they will sell it naturally because the enthusiasm will come across, and there will be a better front end and a better brand for your company. Is your product or service something that your customers already know that they need or want? If the answer is yes, then you've got to beat the competition. This is where your competition research comes into place. What's your USP? What makes you better? Think outside the box a little bit sometimes. Can you change your product or service slightly differently? Can you deliver it differently? Can you have a better differentiation on service? How can you make it so that actually you're better than it might even be a price differential? Pull together all your messages, but make sure you keep them succinct. Don't waffle on for ages. I mean, you might really love the way that your product or service works, and it has every painted known to man, and you desperately want to tell everybody, but you only have 5 seconds to capture people's attention. So if you've lost them, then they're not going to read on, are they? So make them short, make them succinct, and bring your features through. Bring your features and your benefits through. Benefits more than features, because it's actually what it means to me. Then, finally, when you've got all of that sorted, make sure that the stakeholders and your sales teams are buying into it. The sales teams, as I've said, are the front end of the business. They can give you a lot of research back as well. They'll tell you what your clients and your customers are saying. And if they don't agree with what you're selling and how you're selling it, they're not going to sell it properly for you, are they? So bring people into the mix. I'm quite lucky because my husband's head of my sales team, so actually I don't get much choice. I just get told what we're going to do. So, 5 sales channels. You know your market, you know your research, you know your objectives, you know how you're going to talk to people in their same language with their products and their features and their benefits. So now, how are you going to communicate that, which is when it comes into sales channels. And there's lots of different ways. Personal contact, face-to-face, exhibitions, events like this today, networking, Digital marketing, such as your website, search engine optimization, social media, email marketing, direct sales, PR, television, radio, telesales, customer recommendations. Customer recommendations is the very best one that you can do. If somebody else is saying this product is brilliant, you ought to go for it, and you're getting testimonials off your existing clients, that's actually your best form of marketing. You know that you're really getting it right then. Networking is really good for building your contacts. It's good for building relationships, and it's good for research too. It's good for finding out what people are thinking. What are your competitors doing? Having a chat just around a cup of tea. Sometimes you learn an awful lot just by listening to people. So, top tips. Your benefits have got to flow through all of your copy for all your sales channels. So if you write, we do this quite a lot, we'll put together a sales sheet or a briefing sheet, and our copywriter will research it and he will copyright something about the product or service. We will then reuse that copy on the website, on the email campaigns, on the brochures, and we also link into that things like keyword research, and I'm not going to go too much into that, but online, for example, is somebody looking for P11D software, P11D manager, benefits software, for example. Whatever search terms and terminology they tend to be using on the web, we will also pull that through all of our marketing material, because actually, when you're on the web, then it will help you market it and pull those keywords through. Keep going back to your research. Are you on track? Have you wandered off stage? I mean, it happens quite a lot, so keep putting yourself back into your fundamental research. Think about how you're communicating your messages to specific markets. I come back to my teacher, techie, and burster scenario. Consider your presentation. Does it properly reflect your brand? And then, is your sales force properly briefed with targets? We had a company that I went and dealt with. They were a smashing company, really good. But what they've done is they've bought 4 or 5 different companies, and they've bought them in, and each company that they've bought have got a different product. They all cross-matched. It was all to do with another actually office communications company. And when I went in and helped them do a marketing strategy, they had great product, their sales team were great, they were fired up, they were really on price. They weren't selling very well. And the biggest issue that I found was that the sales teams didn't talk to each other. This guy sold photocopiers. And if he went into a company to sell a photocopier and he could see they were screaming out for a phone system, he wouldn't come back and say, they actually could do with a phone system, there's a lead, why don't you go and talk to them? Because he sold photocopiers. And that's really important with your sales team. Are they properly briefed? Do they know the targets for the whole group and not just their section? Are they buying into the whole concept of, actually guys, if we don't make the turnover this month, it's everybody's job, it's not just the people in the photocopy department because they've made more money than anybody else. It's a team effort. And that was the biggest thing, actually, was they realigned that and got their branding right. Because the other problem that they'd also got is a lot of the sales teams had come from these other companies, and they've still got that company branding in mind. They haven't bought into the whole group. So make sure that's an important part which sometimes gets missed. And positive energy is the other thing. I once spoke to a lady who for years tried to get a product into a supermarket, couldn't get it in for love nor money, managed to get a pitch up at Asda, and she went in, had a fantastic pitch, did it with a business consultant, and she won the pitch, and she managed to get this product, it was baby food, it was, into Asda. And when she was in the car on the way back, she was in the front seat, and the business consultant was driving, and he said to her, right, just phone Morrison's. She says, what, are you mad? And she says, no, phone Morrison's. You've had a really good morning, phone Morrison's. She phoned Morrison's, and within 10 minutes she got an appointment. And she converted that appointment, and she actually converted 2 other supermarkets after that. She was on and up, she was excited, she'd had some success, and that comes across when you're selling to people, that success, it comes across in your voice. I know it sounds daft, but it's true. Lead generation. So, you've worked out how you're going to talk to these customers that you've done research on, and now you're getting your leads. This is where I said question your leads. This is one of the biggest mistakes we first made when we were going into business. Is this the right type of client for me? Does it match my existing client profile, my profitable clients, my top 20% of my client base? Is this the kind of client that's going to cost me money, or is it the kind of client that's going to make me money? Do you have a rapport with that client? If you start off on a back foot and you're arguing before you start, chances are they're just going to cost you money and you're going to fall out in the end anyway. So don't be afraid to turn out away those clients. Not everybody gets on with you. I upset loads of people. Make sure that you run a credit check. In times of recession, we've been caught by this a few times. It's really important. Some people come across and they'll sell to you. They'll sell to you to get you to sell to them. And then you think they're the most fantastic company in the world, and they've got loads of different departments, and they've got loads of money, and they've got multi-million-pound turnover. You can have multi-million-pound turnover, but you can also be not profitable. Do your credit check. Have they got enough money to pay you? If they haven't, doesn't mean you don't contract with them, but ask for a payment on account up front. Most people who are serious and actually do want your product or your service don't mind paying something up front. We range from getting 50 to 60% up front to actually having people on a 30-day contract. It depends who they are and how long they've been a client. Be prepared to negotiate on your price in this marketplace, but also know your bottom line. Don't go too cheap. Anybody can work for a loss. Unless you know that you have a long-term commitment from that client and actually it's part of your marketing and sales strategy and it's not going to be too much, so you'll give it a bit of a goer for a while. But we did it. We ran around like headless chickens, did loads of work for the first people that we came to because we needed to get the sales in and we've got to have a focus and we've got to hit our targets. We ended up losing money because we didn't look at our client base properly and question the needs. CRM. Really, really important. Once you've got all these needs, how are you going to keep contact with them? How are you going to know what their likes and dislikes are? How are you going to record the sales contacts and whether you run them and whether they've said, well, phone me back on Monday because actually I'm free on Monday and I can do with that. The CRM will do all of that for you, but will also keep a database clean and up to date. So if you want to do email campaigns, or you want to send out a direct mail shot, or if you want to do a telesales stint, you've got clean data that you can use. You're not going against old data. It doesn't have to be expensive either. There's a lot of CRM, customer relationship management products on the marketplace. But if you don't want to buy one, use Excel and split up your columns in Excel so that you're getting the most out of it. So the minute somebody rings on our product, we've got 1,000 clients on our PLMD product, I know who they spoke to last, whether they had a support issue last, whether we sorted it or not, whether they're online, whether they're not online. I know what that client is doing while he's on the phone, and I can talk to him about that and then build up a rapport, and very often you can cross-sell another product into them now because they know that you know them.
Okay. Sage.
Yeah, Sage do act. Yeah, they do. Yeah. Yeah, there's a CRM system. There's Sage. We use one called Microsoft Dynamics. There's another one that's specifically tracking sales called Salesforce.com, which is an online version. They're all range in different abilities. Sage links into your invoicing as well, which is quite good. The downside of Sage is I find it quite tricky to use and quite tricky to set up, especially if you want to do mailing campaigns and things. So it's really finding one that works for you and works for your sales teams. Microsoft Dynamics, I have to say, has taken us probably about 2 or 3 years to get to grips with. It's difficult to set up and it is so vast and so configurable that actually we almost started too big. We actually don't need all of the features that are on there. So, do your research first and have a look what's out there, but it does really help to have one. So then you come into the conversion, and I'm nearly finished now, looking at point 7. Remember your research. The biggest lesson with this when you're doing your conversion is listen, don't sell. Can your product or service solve a problem? Will your features provide them with the benefits that will help them? People buy from people. If you go in with a hard sell and say, well, we've got this product and it's great, it's going to help you, it's going to cut your costs, you haven't spoken to the person. Listen, what's their problem? Get them to talk about their business, get them to talk about what products they're buying and why they're buying them. Because then very often you can talk to them in the same language and change your benefits to suit them. So listen, really, really important. Don't forget, it costs 5 times more to get a new customer than it does to get a current one. So don't forget your existing clients. Going back to the telemarketing company, the biggest thing that they did and the most uptake in new sales they got was from cross-selling their other products into their existing client base. They had a fantastic client base. They just weren't selling to them effectively. So keep a record. What do people buy on CRM, and are you able to cross-sell? And then once you've got in, even if you haven't actually converted, keep in touch. Use useful calls, key dates, regular newsletters, updates to your products and services that you're doing. You might do an event, for example, if you're in the service industry. Tell people about it, invite them along, keep the contact going. And while you're doing that, be an expert. Carry on doing your research. know your bottom line and stick to it, and do some research. Why? Don't be pushy, but why are they not buying your service? Why is the lead time long? Is it just that they're wasting your time and they keep telling you that they want it, but actually they don't really? Walk away. You don't need to spend time and money you haven't got trying to sell to somebody who actually is never going to buy from you in the first place. You know where to draw that line. Communicate, ask the right questions, listen to the answers, mind your language, talk figures, their figures, not your figures. How's it going to help them? Sell the benefits, not the features. And then always deliver. Keep your promises, keep your brand's promises, under-promise to overachieve, and if you fail to deliver, always explain but never make excuses. People are human, people know that people are human, everybody makes mistakes. Be honest, don't cover up and lie, you lose credibility and people won't buy from you again, and actually the word of mouth then isn't very good because people won't buy from you because they say, well, you know what, they kind of tried to pull the wool over our eyes. So, sometimes to close the deal you might have to give a free trial. Be confident it will deliver, but you won't get a second chance if the trial doesn't work. So make sure you test first off and you test what you're doing. And then finally, review your process. Make sure that what you've done works. Go back to the very beginning of your sales strategy. Review who's bought from you. Review your targets. Can you change it? Can you enter new things on CRM? Can you modify what you've done? Be critical because the next time it will be better. So, just in summary, use your common sense and remember people buy from people. Do your research. You've got to know who you're selling to. Listen to your customers, your competitors and your potential clients. Create a focus with targets that are achievable. Promote your benefits as well as your features. Implement your plan. Be upbeat and positive because that will help you sell. Listen to your potential clients. Help them solve a problem. Listen and don't sell. And review and refine your plan. I've gone through that really, really quickly this morning. There's an awful lot to it. But if you go into each one and relate it to your own industries, sectors and products, I can guarantee you will get some sales out of it. And finally, don't forget Buy Little Worcestershire. The whole reason this was set up was to help you promote your own businesses. So if you complete your mini site using your keywords and your benefits of the products that you sell, it's free. You can expand your supply list, telling people what you do. You can choose the right sector so you can get leads coming into your inbox. Good news, PR, media releases, it's free. We write them for you. So if you get any good news, you've got a new product, you've won some more work, tell us about it and we'll help you portray that. And then if you'd like to book an exhibition stand or be a sponsor or advertise, the rates are really reasonable. Money comes straight back into the Find It site so we can put more of these events on. But actually it gets you some exposure into your sales marketplace. So that's it, that's me. Thank you for listening. I'm sorry if I bored you all, and if you've got any questions, me and myself and my team will be around today to answer them.